Good afternoon. Hope you're still enjoying it today. We're now going to talk about fire, our favorite part. But it is not going to be the fires that we are used to, because I want to talk about fires of tomorrow, or even the fires of today. It's just that we don't know which fire we're gonna end up with. Oh, yeah. What's our goal today? We teach all kinds of stuff, and it is that Simco explained before that we trying to be a good firefighter, and that's perfect. And I think that doing all these things, like firefighter safety, that was a topic today, reducing near misses, also have absolutely no line of duty. That's something that we absolutely want to not want to happen. And how do we create a safer workplace? So we're going to teach guys fire dynamics. We're going to create them awareness of be safe, the fire triangle, all this kind of stuff. And we train on all the essentials. What are we focusing on? We focusing on interior fire attack, flow path, smoke is fuel, all these kind of things, door management, close the door so we not make the fire worse. Ventilation tactics inside, all kind of subjects that we are doing. And then the question, do we forget something? Do we know what we're gonna find if we go to a house fire? Do we know how it looks, what the people have inside in the house? We don't know. Because if we go to a building, a commercial building, for instance, there's a name on the building and it says, this is a steel company. Fine, at least then we know that they have a lot of steel there. But with normal, regular houses, we don't know. In the Netherlands, I would say the last 10 years, there is being an increasing number of solar panels on houses. All the new houses that are being built at this moment must have solar panels. There's no new house built without solar panels. So these things bring also risks with them. But as you see, we talk about green energy, and everybody is talking about this, and we have to save the environment. Even our government is giving you all these solar panels without the tax on it. The electricity companies say, hey, fine, if you generate a lot of energy and you're not using it, we sell it from you, or we buy it from you at a low price. Because if you have to buy electricity from them, then you have to pay 3 times. But you get money for it. But if we are staying at, well, let's say, with my wife, we are working both, and I'm creating energy during the day, and I'm coming home at night, there's no sun, and I created only energy for the electricity company, and I have to buy it again. So then a lot of people, and especially the Dutch people, they are kind of greedy. They want to store the energy because, hey, I generate energy, I store it, and then I can use it when I'm coming home, so that I don't have to pay the expensive energy from the companies. So they start to buy these big energy packs, so we can save the energy. and use it when I want it. They are located in all different places. You can see that I have them in the garage or in the attic or in the cellar or wherever where they want it. And then you would say, oh, what's the big deal? Normally it's not a big deal. It's fine. You have energy and you can use it as long as you don't have a fire. I'll show you a couple energy systems or battery packs, how they call them, and they're being tested and they're all safe and nothing can go wrong and perfect. They cost a lot of money. Prices are decreasing at the moment, but you can see that here even Tesla is participating in this, and you can get a really nice battery pack you put in the garage on the wall, and perfect. This is an example where people have these energy storing systems, battery packs installed. The left one is one from Tesla, and it's huge. They did all kinds of tests, and if one pack, where the number is here, when one pack is having a fault and there's something wrong with the battery, it doesn't impact all the other batteries in there. That's what they tested. That was the outcome. But it's just when there is nothing going wrong with the battery. If we would have a fire, that would be a completely different story, because then all the batteries will be affected. In order to know what we're dealing with and how it's possible to extinguish them or to fight the fire, what we encounter, is we have to understand what lithium-ion batteries are, how they're being built up, how they are manufactured. So we have two different types of batteries. You have the batteries that you buy and you use. They're empty and you throw them away, or you have rechargeable ones. There is a difference in, well, if you have a fire with those batteries, what you do. Can you then extinguish them? It says that the non-rechargeable is not so good trying to extinguish them, because there's a lot of hydrogen coming off from when they are in a fire. The other ones, you can. It's not a problem. But if I have a fire, I'm not able to take the battery and see if it's a rechargeable or not. We don't know. We simply don't know. So it's a question mark for us. You see batteries and you think, oh, yeah, they told me these we can and the other ones we can't. And yeah, it's just good luck and see what you can do. Then there is also a significant number in differences within the lithium-ion batteries. And we all call them lithium-ion, but as you can see, there's a pointer here. You have also lithium polymer, the so-called LiPo batteries. Here, these are in electric vehicles. So we all talk about lithium-ion batteries, but in fact, it's a lithium polymer battery. And it's simple. I mean, we all have a cell phone. And we started with a cell phone which was kind of big. Now they're even getting bigger, but they were big at that time because we had a big battery. There was a need for that. But nowadays we want to have lighter phones, smaller phones, So the battery needs to be smaller and smaller. And we want that the batteries stay, that the power will be on all day long, because I have to work with it. I don't want to recharge them every hour. This is what you can see, how small they are with these, and what the power is, what they deliver on the left side. How is a battery built up? This is one of the things to know why they are so fragile, and why you have to be careful with the batteries, and why it's easy to go wrong with the battery. As you can see here on this picture, you see the guy is taking it layer by layer off. And there are many layers in there, and they are only separated by really thin paper. And if you compare this, let's say, with a car battery, you have a minus and you have a positive side. And between those two, there is just that little, really thin layer of paper. And that's what it makes it so fragile. If it's being banged with a hammer, or something falls on it, or it drops on the floor and you're going to recharge it, it's only a really small fracture needed that it really goes wrong. This is how it's being built up. You see the anode here in the middle. It's like a shooting game. The anode, and then you have the cathode. That's the plus and the minus. And you got the separator, and that separator is that thin layer of paper. Then you also have to have something that will transfer the energy. And that's being done by the electrolyte, and that's being built up by the solvent and the conducting salt. Then the graphite, copper foil is around there, and the active material in the cathode has an aluminum foil. It's all very thin. If you imagine that if you take your battery out of your phone, if it's possible, it's just 2-3 millimeters thick, and this is all in there. And it's a really great adventure. Now we're going to be a little bit more into the science, and I'm not going to bother you with it really too much, but it is, it's important to know, especially talking about these two gases. That's fluor gases, really toxic. This is when the battery is going to be in the decomposition phase, it's going to be released. And as we don't know what kind of batteries that we are encounter, these gases, and if you are in the smoke, it will be on your gear and everything. So that's something to have to take in consideration. All this, it happens if we're going to have a thermal runaway. And the thermal runaway is it's a situation where the battery keeps on evolving, and it's not reversible. Then, if a lithium-ion battery is above 130 Celsius, there's going to be a reaction starting. This is the reaction. Fine, though for those who like it, they may copy it. But there is a important factor. It creates its own oxygen. That's why it's hard to extinguish, because we can say, oh yeah, we put a lot of water on there. Yeah, it's fine, but it keeps on creating its own oxygen because the thermal runaway starts. The only thing what we can do is decrease the temperature. But then you need to be able to reach the batteries. If you can't reach them, yeah, then we have a problem. Then it's almost a case that we lost. Here you see what can happen. If the battery is being heated for whatever reason, or if you have a electrical shortcut, maybe by using the wrong charger, or mechanical stress. If we now convert this to car fires, or let's say we'll take a Tesla. Everybody knows a Tesla. We can also talk about an Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes. All these expensive brands have these electrical cars. The batteries that they are using are tested, and they survive a crash, so that's not a problem. And electrical shortcut, will that occur? No, we always use a correct charger, otherwise it doesn't fit. Mechanical stress, that's where they're being tested on. Heating, are they going to be too hot? No, basically not. But you park your Tesla somewhere, and then another guy comes with his Fiat Panda, and he puts it next to your car, and he built in his own radio, and that didn't went too well, and he has a shortcut, and that car starts burning. The Tesla next to it also starts burning. And then we come up external heating. So the car manufacturers are really looking into making the cars as safe as possible, but external factors also play a role. Here on this side, you'll see, doesn't work anymore. Fire spread, smoke, fire, gases, vapors, and there's a lot of pressure inside that cell because of the expansion of all the gases. And normally in batteries they make it like that there is an opening created by the pressure. It's not that they explode, but there is a sort of a mechanism in there which opens, and then the gas can go out. But the gases are flammable. I'll show you a little film where it's from Germany. I don't know if that works like this. Nope. Oh. Now everything else. Does it work? Here. Simon's factory, you saw that? Yeah, it's fine, yeah. It's not that important, the sound, but as you can see, they are just going to a regular industrial building where they try to fight a fire. Nothing special, you would think. You see, it's Simon's factory. It's here it is, industry and garage. So it's not that. You would expect, well, this is a normal industrial fire, nothing special, and a lot of smoke coming off. They tried to extinguish it from the top with a ladder, and on the back side they tried to extinguish it from the inside. You will see that in a moment. And these guys gonna experience something different. And Germans have long coats. See, the smoke starts to increase. It's going to be a little bit more and thicker, and the guy up in the ladder is kind of start worrying a little bit. See at the velocity of the smoke that it's a working fire. It's not a smoldering fire. This is going really fast. It doesn't look like much water that they put on there with the tower. It's kind of a small stream. Try another line with it. Doesn't work. We're going to crawl up the roof. Because the problem they have, they don't know what is burning. They don't have a clue. This is how it looks on the backside. We start a small explosion. What is that? So we're going to take some foam, and we're going to put some foam on there. That's going to work. Watch what's going to happen now. You hear these popping sounds. Small explosions. Afterwards, they know with our batteries, but now they don't know. But you see, it's increasing the noise. Now watch the guy in the ladder. He knows what happens. It's no longer a small fire. And it turned out that there was a part of the building was rented off to somebody else, and they stored batteries in there. Nobody knew. And if you are arriving at a fire like this, then you don't know. And the guy in the ladder was one of the smartest guys, I guess. He saw what was going to happen. And there were a couple of guys injured here. But you hear that it's still going on. And these are the things that we don't know if we go to a fire. The most dangerous part of the battery is how far it's being charged. In the beginning of these lithium-ion batteries, when they were manufactured, they shipped them 100% charged. But there were 2 aircraft, cargo planes, crashed just because of that the batteries were 100% charged, and a thermal runaway started, and there were no precautions in the aircraft, nothing. So the aircraft was, it crashed. They couldn't do anything. At the moment, as of a result of those 2 crashes, the aircraft authorities said all batteries are only 25% charged, and they have to be in a fireproof box when they are being shipped by air. And it's just because these lithium-ion batteries are unstable. It is not the normal batteries that we know that you can throw and you do whatever you want. These are really unstable due to the fact that they are that small and light, and these layers in between the anode and the cathode are really thin and easily being broken. This is also a part. If we have a thermal runaway, these are the temperatures that you encounter. They are not normal temperatures what we are used to in a fire. We go up to 1,000 degrees. Recently there were some incidents with buses. And there was even a city, and I don't remember which city, they put all the buses back in the garage and first wanted to have an investigation on if all the other buses were safe. Scooters, electric scooters, you see them all over. In Simcoe City, they had a fire, just a regular fire in a house, or it was not a house, it was a Pizza Hut, I think, something like that, some pizza joint. And they parked, after the store closed, they parked all the scooters inside and they were charging them. So next day they could drive away and deliver the pizzas. But with a security camera inside, showed that one of the scooters had a failure, and you saw that there was a thermal runaway occurring, and a lot of smoke was blowing out and overpressure, and then it gets on fire. And that one scooter lit up all the other ones, and so we had a massive thermal runaway within that little pizza tent. That was it. So here you can see how much smoke that it is. And this is just outside. Then we have those nice hoverboards. And I don't want to say that they make crap in China, but they're all coming from China. But it's also sometimes the case that this is a kid's toy. I tried to do it, but it doesn't work. I couldn't ride it. My grandsons also have those things. And I told them, outside charging. You know, the kids ride with these things, then the battery gets empty. They go inside and they think, oh, this is a charger, we put it in. And then they have the wrong charger. And then the trouble starts. It's not always that they deliver crappy parts, but it is that kids don't think about that. It's not idiot-proof made, that you only can use one type of charger. And in this case, yeah, we see these a lot in the Netherlands that we have fires. And luckily here, the owner throws the hoverboard on the driveway, and then no, that's not a problem. But if this happens inside, and many houses burn down due to that. Here you see a car fire. And normally, if the car looks like this, then it doesn't burn anymore, because all the burning material is gone. But here you can definitely see that this is an electric vehicle, and the batteries are still burning. And how do we extinguish it? Yeah, let it burn, and then it's over. Ready. I know, but that's also something that we do in the Netherlands.
You can get down the fire, and then after 8 or 24 hours, you can start again.
Yeah, and that's with some companies that are taking the burned cars with them to their own backyard and put the cars there. Most of the guys don't want them at their backyard because they're not sure that they are really extinguished and that they not start burning again after a day. Here we have those. It says here a specially made container to put all these EV vehicles in there, and they fill it with water, and they let them stay in there for a week. And yeah, to be sure that it's really everything is cold. That's also because of you can't not reach every cell inside. And you know if you take an electric vehicle, you have the bottom plate of the vehicle is the battery pack. But the battery pack, it are not batteries like the battery you have in your car. You have this size battery in the car. But the batteries build up in an electric vehicle are just these batteries that you put in a flashlight. And they build up the complete floor of the car with those batteries. So in order to reach and to cool down all the batteries, they say, well, we keep them a week in that water. Then it's fine. So then the guy comes and picks up the car, and normally they say, well, yeah, you can put them at your station for that while. If it starts burning, then you are there, and then you can extinguish it. So then you take the car out. The car goes to the graveyard, and then you are there with 10 cubic liter of water. And then the city says, you're not going to put that in the sewer. This is contaminated. So it has advantages, but also big disadvantages. So the question here is how are we going to deal with these fires? And it's tough. And I saw a film that the cold cut Cobra, you know, that high pressure system that goes through walls and everything, that they use that on battery packs. Yes, you could use it, but it's only 60, 70 liter water, which is being used by that system, and then you pump that into that battery pack, if you can reach it. If it's at a place where you can reach it with that Cobra. And what they said in the film is, use your thermal imaging camera and see where the hot spots are, put the Cobra in there and cool it. That's fine if you can reach it. And they showed it. It's just there where you put your feet, if you sit in the back seat, and then you can easily get there. But the problem will be if it's just underneath the seat, then you can't reach it. So there are a lot of things. We're really not ready and capable to handle all these car fires or these battery fires. In the Netherlands, what I said is that all new building projects must have solar panels. So, and the builders also know that, yeah, it's fine, but people are working, I can't use the energy during the day, so and at night they don't have the energy. So what are they doing? We're going to make those neighborhood batteries. Shipping container, and we put loads of batteries in there. It's all looking nice. A lot of fans inside to cool it. But last year, we also had a summer, finally. So it was really hot in the Netherlands for our thinking. We had, I think, 4 or 5 weeks, 35 degrees. That's unknown for us. Here it's normal, I know, but for us it was. But these neighborhood batteries, you see the position where they are, next to the houses, and we had some fires in there. And then you get from the dispatch, oh yeah, you have to go to a fire outside. There's a shipping container and it smokes. Oh yeah. So you end up with a lithium ion filled container. And if you saw how that factory reacted, this is also a huge problem. If you go to Underwriters Laboratory, they have a Fire Research Institute website, and there is a complete report on a fire in the US where firefighters went into a bigger system as these smaller containers, and 2 firefighters were being killed by the explosion because they didn't know how to handle it. And people say, well, you can use foam. Foam doesn't do anything. The only thing you can do is cool it. And in order to cool it, you have to get to the battery. And that's a challenge. That's not something which is really simple to do so. So this is going to be a challenge for us in the Netherlands. I don't know if these are also in Greece. Not yet? Well, wait till we ship them to you. This is going to be, for firefighters in the Netherlands, a problem. Because we don't have any standard operating procedures for this. We don't know how to extinguish them. Should we open the door, or should we close it, or should we just drill a hole in the top and fill it with water? I don't know. We don't have a clue. And as these batteries generate their own oxygen, by closing everything, it doesn't work. It keeps on going. So we really don't have a clue what to do with it. And let it burn would be an option. Sorry? Sorry? Pray, yeah, that's what we can do. Yeah. One moment, I'll just finish and then we can go to questions, yeah? No problem. It's a whole sheet full of stuff. I'm just gonna take some highlights out here. It says that our hazards, larger quantity of batteries it's going to be a huge problem. You saw that in that factory, that we have explosions and stuff, but also the gases which are being produced by the fire of a lithium-ion battery is really toxic. Now, storage of large quantity of batteries, and it's not that far yet, but you would need a sprinkler installation to really start from the beginning. If just one cell is having a thermal runaway, that you can act immediately. And if we have to wait till people will detect the fire, then it's most of the time too big. Then it's not to be handled anymore. So we need to keep distance from those batteries. Also, if we have a little hoverboard, keep distance. Don't go over it, don't take it, just cool it as much as you can, and that's it. And if the fire is off, then throw it in a bucket with water and leave it there. Then your personal hygiene in that moment, when you went to a lithium-ion fire, wash down your clothes, spray down with water that you get the most stuff off it, and then put your gear for cleaning, because these gases are not really worse gases. If you look that up in the chemical book, then that's absolutely no good. What I said before, we don't know where we go to, and that's one of the biggest problems. If we would know, we go to a car fire, which is an electric vehicle, because then you first, if you step up to it, then you first have to look and see if it's an electric vehicle, and how can you see that? How can you find out if it's an electric vehicle? Yeah, it doesn't have an exhaust, but yeah. And you have to lay on the floor, but then you have hybrid cars, name it. So it is really difficult, and that's something that we have to be aware of. And yeah, what's up next? For me, it's going to be a problem for us today and tomorrow in how to handle them. And I have to thank my good friend, Dr. Roland Gertz. He is a professor, but he's also a firefighter. I spent the whole day with him in his lab. He does all kinds of tests with lithium-ion batteries. And we did together some tests, and it was really something to remember everything that he was teaching. Really, really good. Thank you for your attention. If there are any questions. You had a question.
If the container that has the lithium batteries produce oxygen, isn't it closed to provide smoke? My English are not very well.
No, it doesn't matter. My Greek is even worse.
So, if we want to handle lithium batteries, what are we going to do?
I don't know. I don't have an answer. If I would have the answer, I would not standing here.
We say, okay, we will close it. It won't have oxygen, so it will fall. If it produces oxygen by itself,
yeah.
So it might blow.
Well, I don't know if it's going to blow. It depends on how big and how much batteries are in there and how the safe systems are. The best thing would be if they would place these type of neighborhood batteries to put a sprinkler installation in there, that it would cool down at the first instance.
Oh, okay.
That would be a good solution. But
if It fails out.
Yeah, but within the Netherlands we have now it's winter. When I came here, I had to scratch the windows to get the ice off. So if you have a water system in there, yeah, it's gonna freeze. So. Sorry?
You have to use the heat of the battery to put away the ice.
Yeah, I can. Yeah?
Τις περισσότερες προσεγγίσεις που κάνουμε στα ηλεκτρικά, γι' αυτό ήταν προσπαθούσα να...
Okay.
Λοιπόν, οι περισσότερες προσεγγίσεις που κάνουμε στα ηλεκτρικά αυτοκίνητα είτε εγκαταστάσεις φωτοβολταϊκών με μπαταρίες είναι...
So if we need photovoltaic panels or anything, we need to know what are the combustion factors that are used. And I haven't heard, I'm not saying from you, how do we put off such fires? What are the materials that we use? Because in the literature, as far as I know, there are no specific materials where we were told this is good, this is bad. Mostly we throw water. So it's difficult, especially in residential areas, and we don't have any specific materials yet in order to use it.
There's no real bibliology saying how to deal with this fires. We just put lots of water in and cool it. Is there anything in the document that says mathematics to deal with these fires? An extinguishing agent.
Yeah, they say there are extinguishing fluids and foam and whatever, and they all say it works. But I think the best option at the moment is either using a cobalt cutter, so you can really get into the battery, because you can put the whole car, cover the whole car with foam or with some fluid, but it doesn't get into the batteries. That's the biggest problem, because they are made that safe to withstand a car crash that it's not easily to get to there, because it's that rigid made that when there is a car crash, that the battery doesn't get involved. So, and then in order to reach the, and I know that I read an article about Audi, the car manufacturer, now was making a water attach point. So you could connect your hose to the battery and then float the battery from the inside. That's a solution. And I think more car manufacturers should think about that. Because then, if we would be there in a quicker way, and you have that and you can extinguish it, the fire maybe only will be in the battery. And then you change the battery pack and put a new battery pack and you can go. So there are things, but it is that the fire department is always behind the science. Everybody invents all kinds of stuff, and then we think, what kind of fire is this? What should we do with that? And it's the same with the solar panels. Solar panels create DC power, not the AC, which is coming out of your plug. So DC power is really much more dangerous than the other one. You can weld metal with it, with that. So we had in the Netherlands a really huge fire in an agriculture area where a couple of big stables were covered with solar panels. So they burned. But the thing was, the glass, which is on that solar panel, where the elements are being made with, doesn't burn. So it flows with the smoke and contaminated kilometers of land. So they had to clean everything. And it doesn't happen with one panel. That's not that much, but they had something like 500-600 panels there. So then that's another problem. And we run after that all the time. It's not that the industry says, hey, fire department, what do you think about this? We want to do this. What are your thoughts? That's not happening. Too bad. Somebody else? Okay.
How do you handle the contaminated water from the electrical cars? You said before you cannot throw it to the
it's
waste.
contaminated.
Then you store it.
No, we don't. We say to the guy, you can take it. You can take the container and everything.
So
We don't want it in our
it's-
fire station.
It's an obligation of the owner to do something with the contaminated water.
Yeah, there is a big debate going on that insurance company says, well, it's your car, so you are responsible for the water because it's coming off from your car. Then car manufacturers say, no, that should not be the case. It's a lot of debate going on.
So there is no
No regulation, no.
No regulation. Thank you.
Oh, up there.
Σε συνέχεια του σχόλιου που έκανε.
So in continuation of the comment of Mr. Tsplakidis, you said that although it's difficult to recognize what kind of fire we're dealing with when we have an electrical car, what is your experience about risks in putting off the fire with water, considering the car, the type of car, if you have any further experience in your country?
Αν μπορεί να μας αναφέρει από την εμπειρία του, από τη χώρα του που είναι δεδομένο ότι είναι μεγαλύτερη σε σχέση με τα ηλεκτρικά αυτοκίνητα.
So if we can have further examples of his experience with electrical cars, because he said that when you go to the scene, to the incident, you cannot always recognize the problem with an electric car battery. What's the problem if we use water to put off the fire?
Experience with fires in lithium-ion batteries. What are the dangers that you would consider on assessment when you arrive for this incident?
The first thing would be is, do we have a lithium-ion fire? And when you saw the film, that popping sound, that means already that you have these cells which are start to explode. That's something you have to tell your guys that they have to listen to that if they go to a fire like that. But how do we know? It's really difficult to take that in account.
I think the question is, once you determine that there is a fire involving lithium-ion batteries, what risks would you consider at that point?
Well, the biggest risk, what I would say, is to determine or to find out how big the batteries are, or and also the toxic gases. That's really something. We can say, yeah, we have a breathing apparatus, but these gases go into your turnout gear. As soon as you take your mask off, you inhale all that stuff. So that's, to me, one of the biggest issues.
Η κύρια ερώτηση είναι αν κινδυνεύουμε από το ρεύμα.
So is there a problem with the voltage? Are we in risk?
No. You have to see that the battery which is burning is damaged already. And the power which is in the battery causes the thermal runaway. So there is nothing there anymore. And with a car fire, I would say, don't touch the car. Keep distance. Don't go in there. Don't put your head inside and to extinguish the car. do everything from a safe distance. There's too less, we know too less about all these type of fires to come up with a good plan. That's also difficult. Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
Probably there's no answer, and it's a debate, and it's useful to have it. So I'll just say what I have in mind. Just to add that there is a product out there. I won't mention the manufacturer. There is a product that pierces the bottom of the vehicle and throws a lot of water, as much water as you want, inside the battery. So there's a solution for that, but it's really, really expensive. And there's also a product called vermiculite or something that you sort of put it. It's like a mud that you seal it with, and there's blankets. And I'm involved in a company that is commercially involved with all these products. So, but I'm also a volunteer firefighter, and I'm really concerned what we should do. If anybody knows something about it, I want you to ask for your input, because obviously maybe somebody in the room has something to say, has some knowledge about it, and we can talk about it afterwards. I don't think it's fair to you to keep answering questions like this. But
Yeah.
Maybe it's useful to discuss. Anybody that knows anything about it, I'm open to discuss.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of knowledge within the room, and yeah, let's start a debate about it. You said you have blankets to put over the car. That works with a normal car fire, but as these batteries are producing oxygen,
they could be insulating though other cars in a car park, or
okay,
gaining time in a traffic accident, or really if it's a small fire, or in the beginning actually do stop it.
I don't know. I don't have the experience with it. That's
the manufacturer says it works, and it's a new product for us, and we'd love to learn if it really works.
Yeah, we have to ask.
We're open to debate about it.
We have to ask these car manufacturers to sponsor us some cars, and then they can do some tests. I don't know if they are willing, but they're all most expensive cars.
Γύρω και υπάρχει και πιστοποίηση, αλλά η πιστοποίηση γίνεται με αυτοκίνητο που φτάνει 1000 βαθμούς.
And what happens when a car reaches like 1000 degrees, but artificially, not with a battery? It's something for cars. And it's a quick way. You just cover the car very quickly so the fire doesn't spread.